Can Lamont Roach finally claim the victory he almost had in the first fight?
The reigning world champion, Lamont the Reaper Roach Jr.
Or can Gervonta prove that that was just another bad day at the office?
Gervonta Davis.
With unfinished business between them, you should be gearing up for a second chapter, and it promises more fireworks. Gervonta Tank Davis walked away with a lucky majority draw. He technically kept his WBA lightweight title, but it wasn't the kind of performance anyone expected. Tank came in undefeated, hyped as one of boxing's biggest names next to Canelo, and this was supposed to be a straightforward win. Instead, it got messy, and now people are wondering if he's maybe not as unstoppable as we thought. But even the greats have off nights. Every top-tier boxer has been in a fight that got way closer than it should have. The shock of this one will fade, but it definitely opens up the big question. Should Tank run it back and give Roach an immediate rematch? That's a tough call. If you've watched the fight, you probably felt like Roach earned another crack at it. He fought way above expectations, and clearly had a style that gave Davis some serious trouble. And then there was the drama, especially in round 9, when Davis dropped to a knee and said hair grease got in his eyes. Some people felt that round should have been 10-8 for Roach, which might have handed Tank his first loss. Also, these two go way back, so there was a ton of trash talk, and it made the whole thing even more intense. Early on, Tank looked in control, but Roach stormed back in the second half. And what really stood out was Tank couldn't land those big game-changing punches we're used to seeing.
Davis, well, the first 2 rounds, in fact, our unofficial scorer, Larry Hauser, did actually give round 2 to Roach.
Roach's counter right hand was giving him all kinds of problems. Stat-wise, this thing was razor close. They were nearly even and landed punches for 9 of the 12 rounds. Tank landed slightly more power shots, but Roach threw over 100 more punches and connected with more jabs.
Nice right hand from Roach. Nice left hook from Roach.
It was tight, gritty, and honestly, it left a lot of fans wanting a clear winner. So yeah, a rematch would settle everything. Most people would figure Tank would come back sharper and do what he was supposed to do the first time. But some folks think Roach got robbed and should have won outright. It's kind of like when Mayweather had that sketchy win over Jose Luis Castillo back in 2002.
The winner by unanimous decision and new lightweight champion of the world, the undefeated pretty boy, Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd got the nod in the controversial decision, but when they ran it back months later, he won clean. Though Floyd was still climbing back then, Tank is already a superstar. A rematch with Roach wouldn't bring in crazy money, and Roach isn't a massive name. So unless Davis feels like he needs to prove something to himself, chances are he's putting a lot on the line. To understand what's really at stake in this rematch, we need to look at who Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach were then versus who they are now. Gervonta Tank Davis has always been a powerhouse. Crazy speed, explosive power, and he's got that pinpoint accuracy that makes his punches land like they're meant to hurt. Back in the day, he was a bit raw. He'd get wild, a little too aggressive, and didn't always handle counterpunches well. Fast forward to now, and Tank's a different beast. His shot selection is on point, his defense is tight, and he's way more patient in the ring. He's not just hunting for knockouts anymore, he's creating them when the moment calls for it. We've seen him go the distance, break down opponents slowly, and finish fights with precision. Now, he fights with a much cooler head. On the flip side, Lamont Roach came in their first fight as a crafty technician, a smooth mover with a disciplined jab, always looking to control distance. But at the time, a lot of people doubted whether he had the power to really challenge someone like Davis. Since then though, Roach has stepped up his game. He's increased his volume, sharpened his angles, and shown he can push the pace when necessary. His ring IQ has grown, and he's more comfortable taking calculated risks. Roach isn't the underdog anymore, just trying to survive. He's a much sharper, more dangerous fighter with something to prove. And Tank has got the poise and confidence of a great fighter. And every fight comes down to styles. And this one is no different. Gervonta goes for the pressure and precision. He's explosive, compact, and when he closes the gap, it happens fast. Like blink and he's there fast. As a southpaw, he's already tricky, but what makes him deadly is how he sets traps.
Another big heavy shot. Davis, big straight left, down goes Gamble again!
He doesn't just throw bombs for the sake of it. He baits you, draws you in, then flips the switch with a counter you never saw coming. Once he's on the inside, it's usually game over. The guy's a finisher, plain and simple. Lamont Roach though, he's built completely different. He's methodical, smooth, the kind of guy who'd rather outthink you than outslug you. He keeps things tight, keeps his distance, and makes you work just to land anything clean. He's not wasting punches. Every shot has a purpose. He moves with purpose too, using angles, feints, and just enough rhythm to frustrate someone like Davis who feeds off chaos. In that first fight, Davis came out like a storm and had Roach on the back foot early, but Roach didn't fold. He adjusted, made Davis miss, and clawed his way back into the fight. That experience matters. He's had time to go back, study every movement, every punch, every pause, and now he knows exactly what kind of pressure is coming. But Tank is still Tank. One mistake, one split-second lapse, and it could all be over.
Oh, another right hand, another right left by Roach. Exchanging fire with Davis and having success, Abner Montes.
That's the danger Roach has to live with for 12 rounds. He can't just play defense. He has to be sharp, active, and brave enough to capitalize on any opening without getting clipped. Also, rematches are never just replays. They're puzzles with new pieces. Both guys have felt each other's power, studied their timing, and seen the openings. For Gervonta Davis, the pressure approach worked last time. He closed distance, exploded with power shots, and nearly broke Roach early. But Roach isn't the same guy anymore. And if Davis walks in expecting a repeat, he might be walking into a trap. This time, Tank has to be more calculated, more patient. Roach used movement and feints to throw off Davis's rhythm, so Tank needs to use that jab more, cut off the ring with purpose, and force Roach into uncomfortable spots. Going wild and looking for the early knockout would probably not be the smart move this time. Now for Roach, he has to win rounds. That means staying active, letting his hands go in combinations, and constantly resetting the angles so Davis can't get comfortable. He has to control the tempo, not just with his feet, but with his mindset. One smart tweak is to time Davis's explosive entries. Catch him with a quick uppercut, or step off the line and make him miss. If Roach can make Davis second guess that signature burst, that's when things start to tilt. Also, Davis is known for coming on strong late, so Roach needs a solid game plan to weather that storm. For Gervonta Davis, the biggest X factor might be pressure. He's the headliner, the favorite, the guy almost everyone tunes in to see. That spotlight might be heavy, especially coming off their last fight. When people expect fireworks, anything less feels like a letdown. So, what happens if Roach starts slipping shots, shutting down the power early, and dragging this into a slow burn? Tank's matured a lot, but this fight could really test how far he's come upstairs. Now let's flip it. Lamont Roach is still the underdog, and while that can be freeing, it also comes with a silent burden. There's no more moral victory to chase. He needs the actual win to change the way people talk about him. And that puts his discipline under fire. The ability to stick to a plan when fists are flying and everything inside him wants to bite down and brawl. That mental toughness might be his best weapon. So if you're going off of power and finishing ability, it's hard to not lean towards Davis. He's a momentum shifter. One clean shot and the whole fight changes. If he gets comfortable early, he might take Roach out quicker than last time. But Roach is not that same guy anymore. He's smarter, more seasoned, and fully aware what he's up against. If he can keep Davis honest, control the rhythm, and survive the early storm, this fight gets very real very fast. And if it turns into a chess match, Roach might just outmaneuver him. Still, it's tough to bet against someone with Tank's kind of dynamite. The logical call is Davis by late stoppage, but don't count out a Roach upset that flips everything we thought we knew. Who are you rooting for? Drop your take in the comments, and if you're feeling this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more sharp fight talk like this. Thanks for watching.